Let's see what our man got to say. Stephen, they don't. Hold on, wait a minute. Somebody said we can't hear the clip. Hold on. I can hear it through my headphones. That's weird. Let me see. Huh. Let me go to settings and make sure. Huh. Let's see. What the hell? You can't hear the clip. It's not on mute. Oh. Shit, can y'all hear it now? What in the world? Yeah, why y'all can't hear the clip? That don't make any sense. That doesn't make. I don't know. Let me try to remove it. At stage. That is so weird. My speaker, headphones. No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Share screen. All right. Let's try it one more time.
Raw, that is fine.
All right, let me know if you hear it now.
I have no problem apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her. Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, and Michelle Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
On this show is understand
that's weird.
who the hell I am.
We're gonna start that over. We're gonna start that over because I don't like that. So we're gonna start over 10 like the last 5 minutes and fucking happen. All right. That was good. See, shout out to my boy Frank, man. He always a good help, man. I fuck with my boy Frank. Shout out to him.
This has a lot to do with a whole brouhaha that's been going on with me over the last few weeks. Now, I will tell you, I apologize for not speaking about this earlier. If you took a close-up of my face right now, you'll see the right side of my face swollen. I had emergency,
I don't like that, man. So I got beat up.
Double root canal surgery. And so I've been down and out and drugged up and stuff.
You shouldn't have said that, man. People gonna take that clip and run with it.
To overcome this stuff.
They gonna say you got your ass knocked out by
right now. I wanted to take a moment
make a joke
because I saw something disturbing in regards to President Donald Trump and how he came at Representative Jasmine Crockett. And I wanted to take this opportunity to attack this issue as it pertained to me and Jasmine Crockett, because I personally have had an issue with how things have been misconstrued and misinterpreted. But at the end of
I already don't like him apologizing. Like, what are you apologizing for? Like, they're not gonna understand. Like, the sad part is he apologized to people. Nobody gave a fuck about it. Anything they doubled down, called him a coon, slave master, all that shit. Nigga, I would have said 10 toes down on that shit.
The day I have to own it. And that's what I'm going to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine. And I have no problem apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her.
Yeah, he go doubling back now, bro. Doubling back. What are you apologizing for, man? You supposed to stood 10 toes down, Steven.
Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, and Michelle Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else. But what we're going to do on this show is understand who the hell I am and how it's going to be as long as I'm doing this show. I have no problem apologizing if I'm wrong. I have no problem apologizing if I've made somebody feel a certain kind of way.
I hate that shit. Why are we apologizing because what people feel? Nigga, fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. How you gonna call your show Straight Shooter and then care about people's feelings? If that's what you believe, right or wrong, if that's what you believe in, that's what you believe in. You got to stand 10 toes down as a man on what you believe. There ain't nothing wrong with hearing the other side having debate. But I'm not apologizing for shit that I feel. Well, I ain't know what I'll take it back. Not what I feel, what I think. If that's what I think, if that's what the fuck going on, and that's what the fuck going on. I'm not apologizing for shit. Soft, man. Soft.
But I'm going to challenge the legitimacy of what people come at me with when I think that challenge is warranted and deserved. If you came to me and you said to me that it came across as a bit dismissive, Stephen, you should have been more protective of her than that because look at how he speaks. Look at how they act on Capitol Hill towards her. I understand that. But when somebody tries to take that to accuse me of being disrespectful or in any way misogynistic, I'm going to push back on that because that's emphatically false. There's no truth to that whatsoever, and I'm not accepting that, and I'm not owning that. I can sit up there and I can look at Representative Jasmine Crockett. Do you know what I think she should be doing? I think she should be competing for the Senate seat in Texas or for the Attorney General spot because she's qualified.
I agree with half of that. I ain't gonna say whether she should run that high or not. I'm not gonna say that. I ain't gonna say she should. I ain't gonna say she should. She's qualified based on her education, skill level, stuff like that. She is qualified. I can be objective. She is qualified, which also what he said in the original video. He said she was educated, she was qualified, and he said all this in the original video. But people must got fucking brain for it. They must just fucking forgot that he said that, or just skip right over that bullshit. Okay, though, it's okay.
I personally think Kamala Harris should have ran for governor of California. I've said it for the record that
want Kamala Harris to run and lock niggas up again. You want to lock niggas up again? Kamala Harris will locking niggas up at a high rate in California. I don't know. Californians agree with that. At least the men wouldn't. I don't know. Man, the men wouldn't. I don't know about the women. The women probably fuck with Kamala. Yes, I fucking voted for Kamala Harris. God damn. Because ever since I came out about this bullshit with Steve A. Smith and said I agree with him, everybody called me a coon, fucking slave master, you a Trump supporter, all this bullshit. I did not vote for Donald Trump. I vote for fucking Kamala Harris. God damn it. You heard me. I fucking voted for Kamala fucking Harris. I would rather nothing be done in the next 4 years versus the chaos that white thug in office has fucking put on us now. I said it. Please clip that.
Michelle Obama was running for president, she would have beat Trump, in my opinion. I think she'd have done it. That's how I feel. But somehow, some way, it's never enough for some people out there. I understand. I would advise you to get over it or buckle up because I'm not going away. This is my show. I will say what I feel and I will do what I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to be insensitive. It doesn't mean that I don't care about our community. A matter of fact, most of the trouble I get in is because I care about our community. And the reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that I'm willing to attack this subject, because this really ain't about Jasmine Crockett. I respect her. I wish her nothing but the best. I was simply asking a question. That's all. What's working for you? Because I don't want her to lose the prowess that she has. I want it to continue to gain and elevate. We need resistance to what we see going on in the streets of America.
He stands a monument to human patience.
I asked a question.
I don't know why you defending yourself to these people, man. These people gonna stay on the Democrat plantation. And that's what we call it, Democratic plantation. By the way, if you want to join in as a guest, you want to debate me, I'll be here. Put the link in the comment section. I invite anybody to come on and talk about this subject. You agree, you disagree. I am of the people. I am not scared to debate anybody, to talk about it with anyone. So there you are. There you go. He apologized to the people, man. It's like, if you're gonna believe it, something, stand 10 toes down on it, man. You can't be going wishy-washy when it comes to politics.
I get it now with Trump feeding into that nonsense, giving him fodder or ammunition to continue to go out there and talk about our black women that way. I got it. I don't like that at all. I don't want to be associated with nothing like that. And I apologize because I respect the hell out of Jasmine Crockett and what she has accomplished. I absolutely do. And I appreciate the fact that she feels compelled to fight the way that she fights because of what she's dealing with. I've been a journalist for over 30 years. I don't want enemies. I truly don't. But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to call it like I see it.
So you contradicting yourself. How can you call it like you see it, then turn around and apologize for your opinion? You didn't say anything wrong. Now, people disagree with that. That's fine. But you can't be scared. So you don't let these left-wing motherfuckers bully you. I don't like that. You cannot be bullied by either side. You don't let these motherfuckers bully you, bro. I don't respect you no more. I'm still gonna watch you with sports and stuff, but man, straight shooters over with. I don't respect you no more because you don't stand 10 toes down for what you believe in. And as a man, that's the first thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand 10 toes down for what you believe in. That's just a rule of law for a man.
It should be done respectfully. It should be done with the sensitivity that it needs to be done with. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to be me. I'm going to call it like I see it. I can look Jasmine Crockett in the face and say, I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction. Because she is accomplished and she is smart and she does have an incredible, incredible challenge working in this political climate on Capitol Hill. I got it. And when Trump came at her like that, I said, damn it. I was pissed off because I said, that's what they're talking about. When they're saying, you know what, when you question something about her, it's going to invite that. I understand.
Now that part I understand. Like even in the original video when this all came out, I did say that. It's like the one blowback I will give the left for coming after him like this. Like, well, you do have to, because black people love to do that, man. They love to talk about, well, what about them? What about the other side? What about the other side? So I do think he didn't really take that into consideration, like what she was dealing with on the other side with Donald Trump, that thug that's in office right now. So I'm gonna reject the person. Like I said, I'm gonna reject the person. He should have took that into consideration when he was talking about her, and he didn't. So I do give him credit for that one part. Apologize for that one part in that. I will give him credit for that.
But we also need to be able to ask her questions, just like we would ask Kamala Harris questions, just like we would ask AOC questions, just like we would ask Gavin Newsom questions, just like we would ask Chuck Schumer questions, or anybody else. That comes with it. It comes with it. The times that we live in, the times that we live in, the times we live in. Yep. Absolutely true. Which is why I was screaming to get our focus away from the cancer culture and identity politics and the kind of things that would turn off 77 million voters, which pretty much comes down to about 20 swings, 20 swing districts, if you really, really want to think about it with these elections. But that's a different story for another day. The point is, times are tight. And the slightest...
Now, I will say, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this live because I haven't really done my research on that, but I did see where they did try to redraw the lines for the districts. I don't know if they did it for the whole country or specifically for Texas, and I know it did kind of screw over Jasmine Crockett and the black representatives in the House and kind of gave them less representatives or less jurisdiction in Texas. Whether that was on purpose or not, you could assume it was. I can't say 100% sure because I ain't done my research, but I guess you could assume it was. I will give her credit for that. That is fucked up. So, but I'm not gonna talk about it too much because, like I said, I ain't did my research on that. I don't like talking without being knowledgeable enough about it.
Little thing can turn people off. And in the end, as trifling as President Trump can be, the fact of the matter is, millions upon millions of people felt that he was closer to normal than the Democratic Party.
He stands a monument to human patience. That was then. This is how we play now.
What you gonna do about that? I have a right to ask that, just like anybody else, especially since I want the Democrats to regain some power in Congress.
I
I don't want
that.
the Republicans having the White House, the Senate, and the House.
I agree with that.
I want the Democrats to have some power somewhere.
I always thought that. See, this is a problem. Another problem I have with black people's own reaction to this whole shit. As soon as you say anything negative about the Democratic side, they assume you're a Republican. You have to be hard right or hard left. Politics ain't so black and white. You don't have to be hard right or hard left. There are things in the middle. I'm more of a progressive. I'm not hard right. I'm not hard left. I do have more conservative values than I do liberal values, but that don't mean I'm a hardcore conservative or I'm on hardcore on the right. That doesn't. Honestly, I think the best government is when you. Now, unfortunately, this never happens because they too fucking childish and too much of a power struggle. But in theory, I think the government always be best when they come together and get things done together. They kind of share the power because I think Republicans do some things that are better. I think Democrats do things that are better. I don't think neither side are truly perfect. But a lot of black people like to follow the Democratic agenda and just all in on the Democrats. Like, nah, Democrats don't give a fuck about black people either. They just lie about it. They make it sound good, but it ain't fucking true. They don't give a fuck about black people like that. Republicans just straight up tell you your face like, hey, we're gonna get the elite richer. We for the top, the high class and the billionaires and the millionaires, middle class and below. We don't give a fuck about y'all. That's the Republicans. It's really on a different. They both corrupt. But as soon as you say anything bad about a Democrat, you gotta be Republican. You gotta be a Trump supporter. Oh, they go to MAGA fans. Like, no, I didn't even fucking vote for Donald Trump. What the fuck are you talking about?
I want to help. I'm not trying to hurt. And I think being quiet and saying nothing and not challenging the strategy that's been employed hurts us as a community. I have always felt that way. And I will always feel that way. But that doesn't mean I'm always right. And it doesn't mean that I'm beyond apologizing when I'm wrong in any way. Because I'm not here to hurt. I'm here to help. To do my little small part, however small that may be. That's who I am. And that's who I'm going to always be. Town Hall. Next month, if you want it. Say the word. Jasmine Crockett will be welcome. AOC will be welcome. All of them will be welcome. We can have it right in the nation's capital. I'll conduct it myself. Nobody's hiding. Because we're all supposed to be in it together.
Shit. I give Gil Griffin one thing, and that's one thing I really defended him on. People love to say Stephen A. Smith only attacks when black people, and that he runs and tells and highlights, especially with the LeBron James situation. No, he don't. Almost every episode he talks like this. He calls people like, "Hey, listen, my platform is open." He's invited Jasmine Crockett to his show multiple times. He's refused to come on. Come on, he's had open invitations to people like that who disagree with him in the past. He doesn't shy away from it. So anybody that said he shies away from debate, shies away from his critics, just a motherfucking lie. You just don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. I'm just being straight up with you.
Appreciate y'all time. That's all I have to say. Y'all take it easy until another day. Stephen A. signing off. See you on Straight Shooter, POTUS Radio, channel 124, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then.
Okay. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it, man. Make sure you drop it down in the comment section below. You tell me what you think about that set, man. I already said my piece. I told you he shouldn't apologize to me for the most part. Yeah, he shouldn't apologize. Ooh, what is this? Yeah, I should have put that on the thing. I kind of want to talk about this whole Gil Arena stuff too, how he kind of lost control over his shit. I really ain't fucking with that because I ain't gonna talk about it right now. Now this, I don't even know who this lady is. I ain't even gonna lie. Her name is April Chapman. She said Steve A. Smith was right about Jasmine Crockett. You think I should show this? I don't know. What y'all think? You know what? Fuck it. Let's get through this then. Let's get through this real quick. Shit, I kind of want to see what this lady got to say. Let me see what she's talking about. Now her shit like 43 minutes long. I'm not playing the whole motherfucking thing. We ain't got all night for that bullshit. You hear me? But Let's see what the fuck she talking about.
They want Stephen A. Smith canceled for simply telling the truth about Jasmine Crockett. And I'm sitting over here like, when did honesty suddenly become hate speech? Y'all, this is really messed up. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's a lot of things, but in this instance, he actually spoke the truth, and I don't even understand what the problem is, but we're going to try to unpack it today coming up on Unshakable with April Chapman. Let's get into this. Grace and peace, you guys.
I was gonna give her a compliment. I seen the full screenshot, man. I was like, oh, she's decent looking little mama. Decent looking mama. I don't know now. I don't know. I ain't hear that. That's not what it's about, though. It's about content. I'm gonna shut my fucking mouth.
Guys, welcome back to Unshakable with April Chapman, as we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I am your host, April Chapman, and welcome to today's show. So if you haven't heard by now, ESPN host Stephen A. Smith, y'all, he did the unthinkable. He broke the cardinal rule. He did something that's practically unforgivable in the Black community, and he's down pretty bad. But I think he can recover from this. What did he do? Well, Stephen A. stood up like a man, and he told the truth. Like, who knew that if you, as a Black...
I thought you were going to say something else. I was telling my family member earlier, it's like the biggest sin you can make in the Black community, especially as a man, is say anything about a Black woman. That shit is like a sin. That shit's a motherfucking sin, boy, if you do that shit. You might well dig your own grave, boy, if you say anything about a Black woman. Say anything. There are people in the comment section earlier say, I hate Black women. I was like, how the fuck I hate Black women? Rest in peace to my mother. I love my mother. I had plenty of Black women in my family that I love. I don't fucking hate Black women. It's just a fucking truth, man. Bro, as a Black man, you can't say nothing. Absolutely nothing. Any man that's watching this live, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all just too goddamn scared to admit it. You know you can't say nothing about no Black woman. You know you can't. It's over with. You get your ass clipped. You about to dig your own motherfucking grave if you say anything. And you know what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Don't make me sound like I'm fucking crazy, bro.
Man, attempt to stand up to the matriarchal brigade of high-calorie orangutans, that the same people who you've extended so much grace to and chosen to defend when their actions were just indefensible, then when you actually decide for once to say, as maybe an elder of the community, to say what everybody else is already saying, that you would be canceled. They're calling for his head on the chopping block. I'm talking banished from the cookout, never to be seen or heard from again. Y'all, Stephen A. had the nerve to ask whether Jasmine Crockett's street theater shtick, you know, her mophead Muppet musings that is full of all of the cussing and just the ratchet kind of behavior, that whole, you know, I'm the loudest person in the room routine. Stephen A. asked if any of that actually serves her constituents. In other words,
I want to start. Make sure, hey, if you want to join in and watch this with me, you want to join in and talk about any of the debates later on, NBA, the FBI, gambling and reds, you want to talk about the No Kings rally later on, I do have the link to my StreamYards in the description below. You may join, talk your shit. If you disagree, agree, you may join. I'm not scared of any debate. I actually love talking to people. I hate talking about myself sometimes. I love having discussions with people. I love listening to other people's opinion. You might change my mind. I'm a very objective person, so yeah. Link in the description, up on the screen right now.
Word. Stephen A. was asking, does the performance produce policy? I mean, to me, it's a reasonable question to ask, but the matriarchal squalor industrial complex, y'all, they darn near crashed out. Okay, let me also include in the clique of the crash outs where the liberal, progressive, emotional, effeminate, beta male soy boys. They too were clutching their imaginary pearls. You had all the Shaquanas over on TikTok and with the blue checks, they were shrieking. I mean, y'all, it's so bad. Like, it's still going on that the chief of Ratchetang herself, Tiffany Cross, the fired former MSNBC host, what's it called? Not the readout, the cross. I can't even remember the name of her show. It was that irrelevant. But anyway, she called for Black men to lead the boycott. This chick went as far as to say that Black men, you need to turn Stephen A. off. Do not watch his show. Do not support his podcast. I mean, this chick is big mad. She is big mad. And so we got to talk about it. So what I want to do is I want to play what Stephen A. actually said. Let's play what he said first. And then we will come back and look at what the backlash that Stephen A actually received. So let's watch Stephen A first.
You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect. Intelligent.
Before we move on, before we keep on with the video, I do want to say, I give women a little grace on why they was upset. Not that they was right. No, y'all motherfuckers were wrong. I'm sorry, y'all motherfuckers were wrong. I give them grace because women are emotional as fuck. Yeah, I just thought women, I don't think most, especially black women, I don't think most women just have the ability to actually think objectively and look at what somebody's saying when they're speaking against them. So the emotional outburst of black women when this first happened, I was not surprised at all. I understood it. I didn't agree with it, but I understood it. No judgment for me. The men's reaction is what pissed me off. As men, you're supposed to be objective. You're supposed to be objective. You're not supposed to believe clickbaits. You're supposed to go watch the whole set bit. It'd be more objective and more logical in the way you think. So the men out here, I've seen this motherfucker Marklin Speaks, whatever the fuck his name is on Facebook, talking bullshit about Stephen A. and what he said. See, I totally agree with April Chapman that niggas like that, y'all some motherfucking betas. If you're a man and you disagree with Stephen A. Smith, you're a motherfucking beta. You ain't no fucking alpha. You're a fucking beta. You're a goddamn simp. That's the motherfucking problem. You're a motherfucking simp. So I fucking said it. Debate me about it. You a fucking simp. You a fucking. I was so mad at the men's response to this. So that I was so fucking upset. You're a goddamn simp.
Women, no doubt. But how Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that gonna help your district in Texas?
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Jonathan.
This is Darla.
And this is.
Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating.
Poor Stephen. Stephen, I am so sorry. Stephen, I'm so sorry that you are experiencing this. But I was writing down, taking some notes. But first, when I first saw this clip, right? When I first saw it, I laughed because I laughed not because it's funny. I laughed because I already knew the backlash that was forthcoming. So first, let me just engage with a few things that he said. First, he called Jasmine Crockett intelligent. I think that was just him being gracious. But I believe, hear me clearly. I understand she was educated, formally educated in a very pristine, private, prestigious high school and quality, top-notch education, right? And then she went to Rhodes College. She's passed the bar. She is educated as far as book smarts go, or perhaps I would even argue it's more of an indoctrination. What we're failing to realize is that these people don't want wisdom. They don't want the wisdom from you. They are rejecting your wisdom because one, it is too simple and it's righteous. Not calling you righteous, but the wisdom that you were giving here was righteous and they don't want that.
I agree with that. I think what it really come down to it, you know, I remember about a year ago, I remember Joe Budden did a pretty popular interview with Candace Owens. But Joe Budden basically admitted that black people rather hear a comfortable lie than an honest truth. I think black people rather hear an honest life than a comfortable lie than an honest truth in general. And we definitely been indoctrinated, man. When it comes to like politics and the Democrat versus Republican, we really been indoctrinated. We really have been indoctrinated. I don't not understand it, but we're gonna keep on watching. I think we about to have a guest pop on in a minute, so I'm kind of excited, to have a conversation with this guest that's coming on.
And so Now what we need to do is let's take a look at the crash out from the woke blackity blacks, okay, the bliggities, the woke justice.
We call it the rejects. We call it the rejects. All these motherfuckers got kicked off or shut out of their show. The fact that y'all sitting here and listen to these people more than Stephen A. Smith is what pisses me off. All these motherfuckers got rejected off of their show at one point, got fired from their company at one point. Hey, y'all, these are the people y'all look up to and fucking listen to.
I love saying that. Y'all, I'm sorry. Yes, I am using inflammatory language here. I shame, I mock, I ain't
gonna lie, April, you look good. You look good. You look good. I like the natural hair. I love the natural hair. I am never gonna shame a black woman because black woman got some of the best hair on the planet. I'm never gonna shame a black woman for wearing her natural hair. I love it. I love it. Do your thing, queen.
I do a lot of that because you have to. These people need to be shamed so that they can see the tomfoolery of their actions on full display. And it needs to be shameful for them to act this way. And so what I do is I just elevate who they are and I put it on full display for everyone to see. And yes, I do mock. I do. But let's watch the crash out.
You know, and I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category too. Like, I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he...
Just tell everyone everything they need to know. What has happened this morning?
Greeny, Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier have both been arrested this morning. Billups at around 6 a.m. in Portland, Oregon, and Rozier around 6 a.m., I'm told, in Orlando, where the Heat were playing last night. Rozier's been arrested for his involvement in alleged sports gambling, prop bets, and Billups, ABC News is reporting, is tied to an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. And so the FBI has been investigating this situation for several months, and in Rozier's case, at least 2 years. And today is making arrests. There is a press conference that is set by the FBI. The Eastern District of New York has been leading this investigation. I'm told FBI Director Kash Patel has also been increasingly involved in recent weeks. He will be leading the press conference today as well. But this is really seismic news in the NBA for a sitting NBA head coach in Chauncey Billups to be arrested, taken into custody for alleged illegal gambling, as well as...
Well, a perfect example. You cannot do stupid shit like this when you up. And I really think they might explain the video, but I think I don't even think this going on current. I don't know about Terry Rozier, but I think Chauncey Billups, this was something in his past, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that he was doing. I don't know if he was doing this currently. I could be wrong, but man, you have to really be careful how you move when you got money like that, man. Because now your whole life has changed drastically off some bullshit, and you already fucking filthy rich. Why are you?
Terry Rozier for sports betting. Allegedly, 2 arrests made this morning. There are expected to be numerous arrests also tied to both of these situations.
So the NBA wakes up this morning in the midst of, I suppose we would have to say, a sports league's worst nightmare. Is there any indication that the league had any idea this was coming? Did they know any of this might happen this morning?
As of last night, I was told the NBA did not have knowledge of these specific arrests. This has been led by the FBI. The FBI made their arrest early this morning. But the NBA has been investigating Terry Rozier, Malik Beasley. Terry Rozier was cleared by the NBA investigators over the last couple of years. That's why he's been playing in games. Malik Beasley, a free agent, has not been cleared by the NBA's investigation. That's been ongoing. As of about 15, 20 minutes ago, I was told Malik Beasley was not taken into custody today as part of these gambling investigations and arrests today.
Okay, so what kind of motherfucker y'all had investigating? The FBI, I guess, there's a lot of things you got to look into. FBI, man, that's why it takes a while, man. They have to get their facts checks and all that. They got to do the investigation because they don't want to leak no loopholes, especially when you're dealing with wealthy people. You know people like Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, they really can afford high-end lawyers and representatives to try to get them out of cases like this. So you somebody like the FBI, I do give them props for taking their time on it with months. Even Terry Rozier, for a couple of years, they say the FBI have been looking at him silently. So they have to make sure the fact they took that long to make this arrest, that means they cross their T's, they dot their I's and cross their T's on it. They try not to leave no loopholes for these motherfuckers to get off of that shit. So
again, we've had 2 arrests so far, and the possibility there will be more. It's outstanding work, Shams. As always, we'll let you get back to the phones here, and if there's any further information, please join us as we'll bring it out to the table here right off the bat. We live in an entirely different atmosphere when it comes to sports gambling than certainly those of us, Shefty and I, and some of the older people at the table grew up in this business being around. Sports gambling was always something that was completely verboten. It was something that was sort of in the shadows. It was something that leagues stayed far away from. It was something that networks like ESPN would stay far away from. Those days are obviously long behind us. You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show. The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine, there is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn between legal sports gambling when it comes to the public and anything that might infiltrate into locker rooms and into teams. And it is, we all knew it was going to be a complication as this became more and more prevalent within the world of sports. So Dan, I'll start with you. You played in the NFL 12 years in the NFL. These are obviously conversations. For all of that time, sports gambling in this country would have been illegal. And in those days, as I have been told many times, people would come in, representatives from the league, make very clear just how far away from these sorts of things and how serious the consequences are for anyone who was caught and entangled in any of this stuff. What are your thoughts as you hear these stories?
Yeah, I think number one, what you do in the darkness will always come to the light. And these players and Chauncey, at least allegedly, have been doing things, you know, that they certainly thought would remain secretive. I think the second thing is, it's hard, like back then when we were playing in the league, it was relatively easy or significantly easy for us to stay away from it because it wasn't as easily accessible. You know, so yes, we always had people coming in and explaining to us what you could and could not do. And it was mainly don't do anything. And it was almost like you didn't think about it twice because it was such an impossible thing to even entertain doing. Now I think because it's so easily accessible, there's so many different ways to do it, it's a much easier slippery slope to get yourself into. You can dip your toe in the water, and all of a sudden it's a snowball and it goes downhill real quick. And so I think that's one of the challenges to people in the limelight, people in the sports.
Another thing, man, I'm telling you, man, the world's changing, man. The AI. I promise you, AI, artificial intelligence has something to do with this. Because all of a sudden now when you got AI, you can, these gambling companies, man, they can track things better, man. They can see discrepancies, man, with certain bets and what's going on in certain bets, man. They can pick up things a lot easier with AI and these systems now, man. That's dangerous too.
Well, people in roles of leadership, it's so much easier to make a mistake nowadays than it was years ago because it's so easily at our fingertips.
We've discussed the NFL an awful lot this morning on the show regularly, and we've seen this sort of activity creep into the NFL world where back in 2022, wide receiver Calvin Ridley was suspended for a full year.
Big dinner box, 8 wings, 5 breadsticks, 2 pizzas, big dinner box, 8 wings.
Damn ass, boy. I might have to invest in paying for the ad-free YouTube, man. Damn ass pissing me off. It is show 2 of them. Don't even let you skip the motherfucker, man. I don't know what y'all think, man. What y'all think? What y'all thinking? What y'all thinking? Yeah, what y'all thinking? All right. Back to it.
That he had gambled. We've seen other players like Jamison Williams get 6 games, Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, other players also be suspended. There was a rash of suspensions from the NFL in that time period, raising everybody's awareness. But today feels a little different. And we don't know very much about the particulars of this case. But when you see a head coach of a professional sports team get arrested, you stop and ask yourself, we have not seen anything like that through the history of sports very rarely. Like that is something that makes you stop and say, wow, because it is so rare and so unique. But this is the type of story, this is the type of situation that we're starting to see more and more. It's the world that we live in. We're on a network. We're seeing overs and unders and betting lines all the time. It's all around us everywhere. And obviously, it's infiltrating into the sport as well.
For those who may be wondering, some things may seem obvious to all of us and may not be obvious to everyone who is watching. So let me just give you a quick explanation. I did the first interview with the central figure in the Arizona State point shaving scandal about 15 years ago. And the way these things can happen, I'm not in any way suggesting this is what happened in these cases, but with these prop bets, they are incredibly simple. A player can get involved with a bookie. This is what happened in the case of the Arizona State. He's betting on other things, betting on football games or whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, he owes him a little bit of money. All of a sudden, a conversation takes place. I wish I could get rid of some of this debt that I have to you. The next thing you know, simple as that. A player feigns an ankle injury. He hits all of his unders, and that's the end of the conversation. That's how easily something like this can happen. That was happening long before this activity was legal in this country. So it has always been a part of the culture, but to the point that these guys have made here, it's so much more prevalent now that it's easy to see how it becomes easier. Just thoughts, again, from 3 former NFL players.
I will say, contrary to what Dan said, I've been places around things where it was actually easily accessible, but you are taught in football, at least when we played, this is worse than drugs. If you're a athlete in a place and it's like you can't be at places where they gamble, people may approach you about these things, and here's what you need to say, because these are the things that'll come of it, the implications, the consequences to it. And so, you were just taught, again, in our day, that it was something you stayed so far away from. But in today's world where it does get muddy, are people disciplined enough for that? Because it does, in one hand, show, hey, there's a lot of people that do this around sports, and it's a big part of sports culture now. Drives the sports. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. The gambling has really been legalized pretty much, and it's opened up. You got underdogs and all these companies and stuff now with betting. Yeah, it's a lot more accessible nowadays. I agree. It's a lot more easier. It's a lot harder to avoid getting into that world, but even then, man, like, damn, we're getting so far dealing with the mafia, and man, that's a lot, man. But it says shows, man, when during the dark comes to the light, man. You think you doing that shit behind the scenes, you think you're gonna get away with it? No, man. Yeah, especially like I said, AI. I promise you, AI had something to do with them getting caught, man. Artificial intelligence, man, it's a lot harder to get away with stuff now, man. People integrate that into their systems and stuff now to catch Trojans and different disparities and people betting and stuff now.
So to speak, like, where is that line, and how pronounced is it for players in that situation?
Yeah, I think the thought process, like before, at least when I was growing up, it was gambling was for people that were in the corner, shady in the shadows. You had to get a bookie, that type of thing, kind of like movie stuff to be growing up in Arizona. And then I get into the league, it's illegal, it becomes legal, and you have these meetings with the NFLPA. They come in, they say you cannot bet on NFL games. At the time when it first started, it was like, you can't bet on anything. You can't even have the app on your phone.
You can't endorse companies that have connection to gambling.
Right, but my understanding of it was, if you make it legal in certain states and have regulations wrapped around it, you preach responsible gaming, then you can be safer for everybody to enjoy, add a little something extra to their game, which is totally fair. But when it comes to, if you were playing a professional sport and you can change the outcome of what people are betting on, there should be, it's a very strong line. You should not even have it on your phone. We had a situation with the Titans where there was a guy who was placing bets, but he was placing bets on college games, which is fair. But the issue, the way the NFL works is, if you're on the property of the Tennessee Titans facility and you place a bet, that is technically illegal. So he wasn't betting on anything NFL-wise, but because of that, he missed 4 games.
Quick word. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, dude, it is such a slippery slope. Like, the fact that it's tied to the mafia, you gotta assume, like, we're sitting here assuming that it started small, and now you're getting to, like, this is like Hollywood stuff. I know for me, like, as it was transitioning from illegal to legal, like, I had a situation, I joke about year 10 all the time, but when I went down to Atlanta to sign, I had a gambling show already in place that I had to sign all these things to kind of separate it. But then it was such a long process to even get there to where I could be eligible to play, that it's just like, yo, they hammered down on all this stuff. I think it is nuts what is happening with this NBA situation.
At the end of the day, if these sports leagues, professional sports, and even collegiate sports, they don't have the credibility of their product, then they don't have anything. And so that's why they have to be as careful about this as they have to be and as they are. And again, the news this morning, we have seen 2 figures from the NBA arrested in separate instances.
You talking about lies affected forever. It's insane, man. Y'all drop it down in the comment section. You tell me what y'all think about that, man. Listen here. Yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think about that, man. This has been a great episode, y'all, man. I'm happy with y'all. Listen, we got a little over 2 hours. I'm gonna skip the No Kings Rally. I might do a separate reaction to No Kings Rally. Talk about, shout out to my guy Andre Williams, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him, man. They whooped his ass in Detroit, and I don't like that. I stand with that man. This is right or wrong. Listen, right or wrong, and I don't mind Andre Williams at all, man. What he's trying to do, you could disagree with all you want. Probably got low IQ if you do, but hey, it's what it is. All right, man. Until next time, I'm gonna kick it. I think I'm gonna do Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. I won't be on this Sunday because I'm gonna be out of town. So I might jump back on live. I might jump back on Saturday. And finish the Pop the Balloon reaction. I think I'm gonna do that Saturday. I'm gonna jump on Saturday, finish the reaction for Pop the Balloon. Do something a little bit more fun this weekend. Then next week, depending on what happens in Pop Culture. If it's something really big news, I might jump on and talk about it. If it's something like really big that's going on, I'll probably jump on and talk about it. But other than that, till next time, see.